Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by North World Sim. We're here at lovely Barcelona, the Catalunya Historic Edition. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Marco Bobanera, and we're here live on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV for another brilliant round of the iGPFun-F3 series. Marco, how are you feeling today?
Man, first of all, hello everyone. Hello, Austin. Yeah, I mean, this is certainly quickly becoming one of my favorite series to cover. And we are at the better version of Barcelona, in my opinion, the historical one. We have seen some absolutely fantastic races in this first 4 rounds. This being round number 5, I would say 5 plus, because also we had the F3 World Championship organized by the same people during week 14, sorry. So yeah, I'm expecting more of the same. We have an incredible 60 cars signed up for this race. This is going to be certainly one to follow, and if you are new to this championship, you will see how, despite the huge number of cars on the track, the racing can be very exciting and very clean.
It's going to be a very clean race indeed. Very exciting too, because Barcelona, it's famous for being a little bit more difficult to pass here than a few other tracks, but that's brought up the kerfuffle in Formula 1, but that's because of dirty air. And these F3 cars are a lot less powerful, not a lot of downforce on them compared to the F1 cars, and they don't have to go through that chicane, so that they're going faster and faster, and it's going to be very exciting, especially when these guys get into the draft with each other.
Absolutely, and we catch qualifying just at the back end of the proceedings with basically, well, we are in extra time, so to speak, in injury time, as if this was soccer. Giovanni Sellito rounding the final corner, position 43 for him, improving on his personal best. And there he goes. No, he doesn't improve, 37.8. As other drivers coming through, we've got Damien Hall. He is the last of our qualifiers so far, Austin. Position 56, there are 4 drivers without a lap time. Thomas Pruitt, Igor Maximenko, Henry Robert, and Adrian Cordero.
Yeah, some drivers enjoying moving up through the field, but Barcelona kind of heavy on the track limits too as we ride through the final 2 corners. Very unusual way to go through here, because I'm so used to taking that chicane. It just feels a lot much better without that chicane, as Hall goes 52nd right there.
One of our drivers that we learned to really like, Chuck Mauro, always involved in some kind of exciting battle in this opening part of the season. He will start 33rd. Adam Talsmad, for the driver from Canada, is also looking at a top 25 start, but he's trying to improve. Let's see if he has time, because we are 2 minutes past the allotted qualifying time.
Yeah, going through those double right-handers at the end. A little bit of a lift, and that very final corner is going to be making the setup on this car very important on how you attack that corner. As Talisman comes across the line, sits 25th.
Yeah, does not improve, and basically, yeah, everyone has been kicked out of the racetrack, and we are ready to go through the starting grid for this one.
It's a very familiar name at the top of the grid. It's Raul J. Hyman starting up on pole, followed by Stratos, Kiro Glitzis, Alex Alcaraz, Samuel Hermer, Philip Lucas, Florian Densler, Richard Wetzev, Vito Garcia, Chris Trott, Marcus Ng, David Martin, Luca Ferrani, Clark Williams, Luca Maruk, Dirk Provley, Zoltan Zamoter, Zachary Beeson, and Christian Burke in 18th behind the Stuart Minlane, Nick Carty, James Luis, Russell Kirkwood, Kuchi Ido, Wadmir Cardella, Adam Talsma, Ricard Bogert, Johnny Coco, Ben White, Daniel Bond, Johan Bergeson, Marcel Bergs, Mark Mathis, Chuck Maru, Luciano Lorenzo, Rod McGuire, Steve Rubens, Andy Flitz, Josh Arnold in 38th, JJ Gonzalez, Alex Hopkins, Sean Bennett, Rob Kolark, Giovanni Stiletto, Clemens Putzengruber, Patrick Rowlands, Christian Gladsminter, Martin Devine, and Peter Brzezinski in 48th. Antonio Brzezinski right behind him, followed by Richard Veen, Gaston Abernecute, Damien V.A. Hall, Reed Dennis, Vincent Casanova, Walter Lemons, Pedro H. Oliveira, Henry Robert, Adrian Cordero in 58th. And in the final 2 spots behind those 2 drivers, it is Adrian Cordero and Igor Masimeko.
Yeah, I don't know why maybe the grid is too big for our overlay. It's not scrolling, and it says I'm not going any lower, but yeah, here we go then.
60 drivers registered, but we can only fit 58 on the grid graphic. Well, there's 60 drivers on track. They're all lined up and ready to go. Let's get those 5 red lines, and out they go. 60 car racing. It's iGP Fun action here at Barcelona. And Philip Lucas didn't take to the track, so he's going to drop all the way to the end of the grid. And just look at all these cars storming down into turn 1. Herbert Glitzes Alcaraz. Your top 3 racing in there, all in the line. Remember that iGP Fun rule, no over obnoxious sends on the first lap. So I expect these guys to be taking it nice and easy. That no 3 wide rule in effect right now.
Yeah, only I think Walter Lemmens had a bit of an issue. Too bad, because he had a couple of fans in the chat, but apart from that, everyone goes smooth as butter. As I can see Philip Lucas coming out of the pits right now. Damien Hall. Oh, now we have a bit of a Grosjean moment with cars sideways.
Oh no at that moment, and oh no at you referencing that moment.
And here also as well, I think Luciano Lorenzo is missing the front right of his car, unfortunately. So a couple of dramas in, those were the trouble spots we were expecting, Austin, even in real life. And now they take the old left-hander here. And
such a classic turn. And with all these guys kind of used to the new layout, it kind of takes a moment to readjust that braking point for that turn and how fast you take that turn in there. And I think some part of the racing we might see a few guys forget which turn that is.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, with the different layout of that corner, it's much easier to get an off-track than at the right-hander coming up the hill, because
it is.
The off-track marker has been positioned by iRacing for the proper track, not for the old-school track. As we go with Alex Alcaraz and Stratos Kirlakitsis side by side. I think Alcaraz has got the position.
Yes, he did. Stratos defending onto the inside, and Alcaraz is swung it around the outside. Very good in the draft. His car is very fast in a straight line. And Alcaraz up in the 2nd place, but we know Stratos Kirlakitsis, he loves to fight.
I think there has been an issue there at the back for Chuck Mauro. He's pointing in the wrong direction now back, and Putzengruber also. So, yeah, there must have been a bit of a collision there as we move to the... I want to call this midfield, but it's not really the midfield. Oh, no. Cogito is out with Caldarella also. Is missing, completely missing the rear wing.
He's missing, the rear wing, and that engine cover is flopping around. That's the first time I've seen the engine cover start get dislodged. What's happened right here for Juan Marcadella? Is coming into that left? Oh, it's just a little bit too it's very awkward. A little bit too late on the brakes and a little bit too light on the brakes. As we go to our battle for the lead between Hyman, Alcaraz, Kirlakitsis, and really it's more like a battle for second, but these guys just studying each other for this opening part of the race. You don't want to be sending in crazy moves at the start, because we saw what happened at Donington.
Exactly, and 28 laps, it's quite a lot of laps for F3 cars here as we move to the back end of the top 10. Luca Varani is leading the way, but this little pack is headed by Dave Martin. Sorry, oh no, there's a lapped car there in the middle, my apologies. That should be one of... oh yeah, it's a Christian Glamsetter. getting passed by Luca Varani there.
Yeah, we already have 5 cars that are out of this race and 7 cars, well, really in the pit lane. So the start of this race, big chaos. There's more chaos happening as the 987 of Brzezinski is around, and he's missing his wings and engine intake as well.
Yeah, beautiful livery on that car, black and magenta. Oh, little bit of netcode there with Chuck Mauro, I think that was. We just came out of the...
It was Chuck. That was a very ambitious move by Chuck going in there as we take a look at that Formula Ford going around the track.
So, Raul J. Hyman, who, for people that didn't know, we learned recently has a very successful real-life racing career going on as well in junior formulas. 35.1, 35.1 as well for Alcaraz, 35.6 for Stratos Kirlakidis, who's been being caught by Samuel Hermer and his Earth Dream car.
Yeah, and you kind of have a connection to that Earth car, don't you?
Oh yes, when Honda did their campaign, which was basically also a way to cover the fact that they had no sponsors for that season. You could donate a certain amount of money and have your name stamped on one of their 2 F1 cars for the 2007 season, if I'm not mistaken, it was. And yeah, my name was on the Jenson Button car, so yeah, quite you know, the names were so small they were impossible to read unless you got really close, but they were there. It was quite cool.
The only time I got my name on a car is when I was racing in it. And not crashed into a wall. And ooh, slow down the middle. Wedstead, he's avoiding that lapped car. It's a very ambitious line around the outside. Got a little bit loose right there. But all these guys at the front, very spread out as we head into our upper midfield. Is that a thing? A little nice fight right here. Zamotor and I believe this is, yeah, Zamotor and got just traffic all around him, and when you're in this situation, we're on board with Beeson chasing down Zamotor. It's just very interesting to see on how everyone does it, but Barcelona being Barcelona, it's going to be very hard to get a move done because it is so full of medium speed corners. Not a lot of low speed corners to really send one up the inside.
Exactly, and this is also, you know, the you were talking about the dirty air, which is a big problem, of course, for F1. Even if they do the chicane, still the dirty air is enough because they have to do that final sweeping corner. But the big problem also is the fact that turn 1 in real life and here as well is not that big of a braking zone, you know, especially for F1 cars that they have such amazing brakes. But even for these F3s. Yes, you can work with the draft, but it's not a very big braking zone. So you also have to hope that the car in front of you makes a mistake because there's not a lot of space to go by, and usually attacks there end up in tears.
Yeah, and with these guys, it's just they like racing clean. They are going to really amp out a ambitious overtake, especially these guys at the front. Watching Varani and G race it out through the final 2 corners. Let's ride on board with Luca. Luca, the series organizer, absolutely loves what he has been bringing on here. So we bring up our dashboard, going up 150 miles an hour across the front of the pit straight, heading up to 160 already here. I'm just hitting that rev limiter and ending out at 156. A little bit of an early liftoff right now. As you can see, they didn't slow down at all heading for that first part of the track.
Yeah, a bit surprised that they're hitting the limiter. But, you know, of course here you have to compromise between that long straight and, as you were saying, that all the other corners, which are basically all medium speed, very flowing corners. You need a lot of downforce around here. And so Yeah, and because apart from the front stretch, there is not a lot of straights to speak of. So, I maybe later we can go on board with some other driver and see if he as well, like, it's the limiter. By the way, that yellow curb on the inside that Varani just went past, if you hit it on the wrong angle with this car, you're going to break your suspension.
And flip.
And flip, yes.
Which I saw in practice today. Which was amazing. And scary at the same time. Braun doesn't really have anyone behind him, so he has all of his focus on G in front of him, that lap car. But, oh, it just goes out just a little bit wide. And that's going to be hurting him a lot. Watch out for that sausage curve. Don't want to hit that thing straight on unless you want to turn it into a rocket ship. And, well, that dirty air making it very hard for Varani to stay cemented in there and get a good run coming off the exit. But he's buried in that gearbox right now. Are we going to see Lucas send it? He is looking down the inside, but just too far away to make a move out of it into that tricky turn one complex. And I must say, this complex is very against overtaking. You got the inside line, sure. They're going to have the inside line next corner, and then they're going to have the outside line and carry a lot of speed heading to that next corner. And here comes Varani down the inside of this long right-hander. You can fight through here, side by side. They're still going to be side by side. Now G's got the inside. The lap car down was also right there. That held up G. Varani is up into 9th place.
Good move there, and great sportsmanship by the lap car, who basically stopped to get out of the way. That was Walter Lemmens, who is having a tough race, but this overtake has compacted this whole group of cars, basically from Varani all the way back to, I'd say, yeah, Talsma is in the back end of this group. I know it's a bit... Oh, as we have an attack here. Tool is on Provili. And here we go, makes the move done.
Thulis had the draft on Provli. He just deciding on when to really just send it up in there. So we right on board Provli, and I just love that message on that.
Beware.
Let's go.
So I know it's a bit too early, Austin, but should we bring on the dancing grey dots of doom?
Oh, let's certainly bring up our dancing gray dots of doom as we got some dancing on the front straight right here. Look how compacted 9th to 27th is. As this is Zotomoto looking down to the inside, little bit of a wiggle on the exit. Here comes Milan looking down the inside now with that long turn 3. Side by side they go. Still side by side, but no send going to happen through there. This corner absolutely famous for my favorite Spanish Grand Prix from ever. It would be the 2016 Grand Prix. You can guess why. Big lockup from Zomotor. If you don't know which race I'm talking about, certainly Google it because you're going to love it. Unless you're a Mercedes fan. And usually be on the breaking point a lot earlier there on the new corner, but we're here on the old corner. We got a car off in turn 5 that just hopped out.
That was
been a big killer today.
It was Vincent Casanova, French driver of clear Italian origins. Whoop, around he went.
Mustard. Too much mustard right there. That big hit on the wall. And I think this just, yeah, he just left the track immediately after that. Didn't even want to see if the car was still working fine.
I think the right rear got a very big whack with the wall, and these cars...
it was dislodged.
Yeah. These cars are very sensitive to damage, as it should be. They are open wheelers, so at the minimum contact. Oh, there's someone there in the
51.
Could it be Patrick Rowlands?
It is Patrick Rowlands.
He's waiting and waiting. He has a little bit of an opening, hopefully. And, he's also having connection trouble. So. Oh, someone there. Completely, I think it was Dave Martin, completely killed a cone. Thankfully, his car is okay. You need to be careful
everybody's
because
killing that cone in that corner. Because if you're watching our dancing gray dots of doom in our upper right hand corner, I know my.
Oh, we have a pile up.
No!
Oh, this is bad.
Oh no!
You see, drivers are trying to have.
Blip shot, please. We need a blip shot.
Oh man, I need to see what happened. I think Chris Trott was or Zachary Bison, one of the two, went around mid corner. There we go. So here we are.
Oh, the blip not playing good games of us today, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It was Chris Trott. So let's take a look at Chris. You'll see he's going to lose. Let's go to the.
She was bustered in right there.
Oof.
And got into the grass. And then right behind him, chaos erupts. And oh,
man, that orange car.
hit.
I don't know who he was, that orange car, but
I think that might have been Dirk, probably.
He got it. Look at the bits and pieces and the debris.
Oh yeah.
And
Was
this
that
takes.
Dirk, probably. That might have been Dirk.
Let's see. Now, of course, looking for the incident in this mess, it's
very hard.
very hard, but we have the technology.
It was Dirk. Let's run on board Dirk. This is probably the most unlucky place you want to be. Oh, okay, just...
Oh, unlucky. He was moving away and then he got whacked. He lost...
He was carrying his nose cone for 100 meters right there. It's extremely unlucky and unfortunate as wide off track goes Richard Wedstead. And Stratos and Hermer in a fight for third place. And look at the speed that Stratos has. Actually, that's a laps car.
Yeah, that's the car we saw earlier. I think Brzezinski. Brzezinski, yes?
Yeah, that is Peter Brzezinski.
Yes. He gets passed lapped by both Kirlakitsis and Ermer, but Kirlakitsis was able to pass him straight away, and you see, even with the speed of Samuel, he had a bit of trouble getting past Peter in the S's there, so that explains I mean everything you might want to know. And as you can see, I think before I think in a few laps time we might see the leaders having to go through the back markers, endurance racing style. The lap is not long, but not that long, and look at the dots there. The number one getting dangerously close to the back end of the lap car train.
Yeah,
oh dear, look at those cones.
Those cones are not straight. And as these guys continue on for another lap, we head into lap 12. We're looking at this battle for 19th and still the upper midfield. We aren't even halfway through the pack yet in the true midfield. I think the true midfield would be about 20th to 40th, you say?
Yeah, I mean, since we have like 60 entries, we can say that we can. My terrible math skills made me divide in my head the group into sixth. So the first sixth of the field, the second sixth, third, So yeah. Top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40. I mean, my maths are terrible. Chuck Mauro with another problem. Not his night, unfortunately. As
struggling hard today. He's down in 34th, stuck in that midfield, but very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, he has been in a fight for the, I believe, top 10, top 15, top 20 every race so far, and maybe he doesn't like the track, but this race started very badly for him with that contact he had. Now he's trying to come back on the, I think that is the pink cat car, yes, of Rusevski. let's go on board with the totally not Red Bull car.
He has the pink cat. As Ruzeski, we saw him have a little bit of trouble.
Oh, Richard Wedstead!
Wedstead off in that, well, massive incident right there. I think we're going to see a little bit of an all-track and probably a replay of what we saw earlier on, just involving a lot less cars.
Oh, he went for a move.
Oh.
I think that was a lapped car.
There was 2 lapped cars in there. Peter was also involved.
I think it was Damien Hall. The 246. There was a misunderstanding quite clearly.
Yeah, it's just ambitious. And then here's Peter. He tried to avoid it, and then unfortunately, when you see that moment, you just lock up the brakes, and kind of sends you into trouble when your brakes lock up. As Raul J. Hyman, well, real-life driver, he knows how to get around here pretty well.
You see, I think lap 11 he had to do some lapping because he lost 6 tenths, but apart from that, as you can see on the bottom, he's been gaining non-stop over Aleix Alcaraz, who's still a super quick driver. And after that lapping moment we had earlier, Aleix has been able to pull away from Stratos, so the gap now between the pair of them is 1.7 seconds, if memory serves me right. So top 3 are a bit safer, and now, of course, the crash that happened to Wedstead, who is still going, I would be surprised if he doesn't have any kind of damage. I mean, let's go on board with him. Front wing seems to be okay, I don't know how.
Magic.
But look who's coming for him, Luca Varani.
Luca Varani is up 3 spots where he qualified, and I'm surprised we went throughout this entire race and not covered our biggest mover. And you might see some normal numbers, 12, 16 at the bottom here. That's nothing compared to what Henry Roberts doing, up 30 spots.
I think he was one of the non-qualifiers, if memory serves me right.
He is.
Plus 30 is, an incredible number.
That's half the field.
Philip Lucas, unfortunately, minus 51. He started from the pits, if you remember. But I think something bad must have happened to him, like straight out of the gate, because he did like I think 100 meters. So let's see what happened to Philip, one of the quickest drivers in the field. Of course, you have to wait for the field to go by, then iRacing lets you go. And was he in the car? Because I don't see a driver in the car. You see no, he's I don't think he even started. That's a bit strange.
I don't believe he did. But Robert, he's all the way up there. Look at Johnny Coco. There's a big fight happening in front of him. Between Maruk and Bob Bird, Latcar avoiding there. And these two are going side by side, heading into this long right-hander down the inside. Car goes off and out of there. Spinning around, that was Berg, I believe. Multi-car incident.
Yeah.
There was a car on the wall.
Vanderberg was one, I think Devine was the other, one of the lapped cars. Back to the fight between Maruk, Boberg, Coco and Mathis. They are really enjoying their life in the back end of the top 20 here. With more cars trying to join the party, including Bison. And now Sean Burnett tries to make a move on Maguire, and he does so. Maybe.
Well, he's got the first part of the move made. Can he get the second part around the outside? Yes, he's got that locked down. Look at this 76 of Cardi now. He's trying to get to the back of Burnett right there, but watch on the outside. He's got that lapped car, and we've seen lapped cars cause a little bit of trouble sometimes here.
So Nick Carty tried to, profit from Maguire's maybe being distracted by Barnett passing him, but Barnett is able to keep the position, at least the position on Carthy, but I think Carthy has some good... Oh, bit of a mistake there from Maguire.
Maguire getting a little loosey-goosey right here. Coming on to the back straight, very short back straight. And, oh, Carty is showing a move all the way from Valencia. He was so far down the inside and so far back. There's no way that was going to work. And, well, luckily he didn't go full send right there, or else we would be looking at another incident. And big wiggle from Maguire.
There was a massive wiggle. He will have a terrible exit speed. And now, of course, you see there joining the party is Henri Robert. 31 places gained in the best livery in the field, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That
French, great livery.
French flag livery.
As Carty and Maguire side by side, turn one. Robert staying behind him a little bit, almost wheel contact right there. Robert making it 3 wide, big wiggle from him. Let's run on board with Henry as we're looking at these two battle it out side by side for 24th. 25th, top third of the field. Little big slide from Carty. And Robert's enjoying this.
I mean, he's got the best seat in the house. So...
Well, yeah. Well, not as good as us.
No, of course, we have the... we have the best seat in the house, and you know why?
We got milk and cookies.
Because we get paid.
Oh, I was just thinking about food. We need American milk and cookies. Milk, cookies, and ice cold Coca-Cola. That's how you pay me. But I don't drink cookies and milk at the same time. And oh, big wiggle by Maguire. Carty up down to the inside. Carty and Maguire side by side. We saw Maguire have a big wiggle right here. Carty sends it down to the inside. Maguire trying to hold it. Almost contact right there between the wing and the gearbox. Big puff of smoke from a car ahead. And that is Barnett pulling out that smoke. Now Carty getting back that speed on the straight. Maguire unable to make any... Oh, no, Carty's unable to make any move up there. Maguire's got the speed. Robert is just watching this now. They're still fighting. This is an incredible fight these guys are having.
And from what I was hearing from the chopper cam, all 3 of them were hitting the limiter, so it might be a widespread thingy, this one, that everyone is hitting the limiter. By the way, and before... Oh dear!
Robert laid on the brakes, causing Carty to take evasive action. And now these guys are catching it to Barnett. We saw Barnett puff of smoke coming out of the final corner. He's definitely struggling with something as these guys are closing out hand over fist as we go, well, we're 2 laps over halfway right now.
I think Stratos has a bit of breathing room because Samuel Ermer must have made a mistake.
He just rode onto that curb and took out the DRS sign.
Yeah, iRacing, we need the destroyable roadside sign, so no one then can have reference.
No,
we can have no one can have references for the braking areas.
Yeah, I would really love to see that in a rookie series.
Before we move on, these guys give a little bit of breathing room for us. Let me say a big thanks to North World Sim, the sponsor of this series, simulator parts and innovative solutions. They are your sim racing house, cockpit, pedals, steering wheels. All you need, you have it. northwsim.com for more information.
Indeed, and you kind of read about mine because I was just about to read that ad.
Where is Raul Ayman going?
Herman is parked up. Wow, Jay Hyman.
Equipment failure?
Well, he's got it, whatever it was, fixed, but he's dropped all the way down to 6th place, and he's picked up a cone. He's got a cone buddy in his side pod.
Let's see. Gearbox.
Oh, he's
Wheel.
gearbox problem.
Yeah, the wheel issue, yeah. Maybe he has a shifter or something, or his wheel, because you know usually the gearbox is connected to the wheel, so maybe the wheel was
Yeah,
having.
he just unplugged it right there. He just unplugged the wheel right there.
Yeah.
You saw the wheel, both wheels shoot off to the right. So, J. Hyman, our race leader and pole sitter, struggled with equipment issues, kind of like Eric Senna at Interlagos, with a gearbox issue as well while he was in the race lead. But the South African racing under a UK license seems to have fixed the problem.
Yeah, very strange because again, you don't usually use a shifter for these cars, given that they have, you know, the thing is behind the oh man, help me, Austin. They have the gearbox, you know,
Sequential.
Yeah, you just have, you know, you have the pallets
Paddles.
behind. Thank you. So sometimes it happens if you use a shifter, which is, you know, usually a third-party add-on that you add to your, which is connected maybe towards another entrance to your system. But usually, when the wheel fails, it fails, you know, everything. But he was still steering.
J. Hyman down the inside. He might be using a external sequential shifter. Just saved this issue because it was a pretty quick fix.
Even though he disconnected the wheel, as you were pointing out, because when clearly when the wheel was pointing all the way to the left, is clear sign of a wheel disconnection here in iRacing. So, but maybe he has a shifter that is connected straight to the wheel, and then the wheel goes to the computer. Uno, we probably will hear from him in the forums, in the F3 forums on iRacing later, because that's quite a unique issue.
Very unfortunate issue, but big news here as Alex Alcaraz, is now in the lead with Strauss Carl Gitzis in second place and Samuel Hermer in third.
Alex Alcaraz, who's of course racing at home, and judging by his name, I think he's not only Spanish but also from the region of Catalonia, so I think this should be a double home race for him, and also sponsored by Northward Sim, so I mean, it will be the perfect crime, a victory here. Second place for Stratos, who has I think a livery that really resembles what Alonso was driving in the mid-2000s. Done in a copyright safe way, dare I say. And then the third car of Samuel Hermer, now up to third. Let's go back to Raul Hyman, because his next target will be Dave Martin, and Dave is now sitting in sixth place, and I think that
Hyman is somebody just died.
There was a
in the background. It's a massive off track. Nick Carty's off as well. Was the car 42nd?
It was Giovanni Sellito, the Italian.
Giovanni Sellito, big slide, and
in front of Luca Varani. Wow. Oh dear.
Well, my comment is somebody just died. I thought he went straight into the barrier, straight on, but no, it was a big send. As you can see on how much that curb affected as we run up for Luca Varani, who is counting his lucky stars right now.
Let me have a quick shout out for Florian Denzler, who is, I think, is a new face to the championship, or having the race of the season so far, because he's been very quietly quick all day long. 16 qualifying and now 15 the race. Looking at a possible top 5. I mean, good run from him. But now, of course, the action is here, because Hyman will be furious with himself and trying to make the move on Martin as soon as possible. Well, furious with his equipment more than with himself.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be something thrown after it, or he's going to bust out the screwdrivers, because I don't know on how he is. Whenever I get equipment failures, I throw it out the window. Which explains why I haven't been sim racing for 3 months. And here comes Hyman down the inside, but Martin holding it all around the outside, but Hyman's back around the outside now. Hyman battling toe-to-toe with Martin, and he's up into 6th place in his next bet is Florian Denzler, who started in 6th and very quietly just held 5th place now. Garcia's up there in 4th.
You know, Austin, we are on lap 22 already, about to go on lap 23. This race has really gone by very quickly. I mean, this is a testament to the excitement that we usually have in this championship. Up and down the field, even at Barcelona, where usually it's tough to pass, we have seen a lot of great overtakes, and of course, we also had, you know, massive drama for the lead of the race.
Yeah, massive drama with Raul Hyman equipment failing, and a lot of sliding from these guys. So tire wear is certainly becoming an issue, as cones being deposited by Zemotor.
Yeah, that was the car that spun just in the back of the shot a few seconds ago, and now it's another driver that's trying to come back, and I have no idea how that car doesn't have damage. It's Richard Wetzel trying to have the best of Dave Martin, as in front of them, Florian Denzler is defending from Raul Hyman.
That was a very weak defense, as Hyman sent it already, and oh, he's made contact with him! No big contact to cause damage though, as Hyman is up into 5th place, but small little bit of tire rub between each other. That's what sent Denzler up. Try to look down to the inside. A nice corner staying with Hyman, but Hyman has just got that preferred line. And yeah, Hyman is sliding around. He is pushing this car as hard as he can, and his tires might be gone. We got on board of Martin, looking at Richard Wedstead right behind him, and Wedstead backing off just slightly. Not going to be making any sort of move heading into the old, can't really call this a hairpin. What would you call this?
A Barcelona corner. I mean, if you ask me to describe to you a corner in Barcelona, despite not being used, I will still use that one as an example.
It's a very picturesque corner, I can say that. As we saw Wedstead getting very loose, got into the gravel off the exit of that first right-hander, and well, widened up that gap. The dirty air and the low tire grip hurting him as well, and Stratos Carol Gitsis is starting to close in on Alex Alcaraz. He's gained a 10th on him last lap.
Yes, absolutely correct, Austin. He has been gaining more or less around 1/10, apart from lap 22, as you can see, almost half a second, so clearly he is pushing hard. Now they have a bit of a gap, the leaders, between themselves and the next pack of lapped cars, so a little bit of breathing room. Let's see this time around, with first sector being identical, second sector identical as well. This is one of the modern tracks in iRacing, like scanned recently, more or less, and so thankfully we only have 3 sectors, just like in real life, unlike the 6, 7, 8, 9 sectors of other tracks of similar length, might I add. Like I can accept having 50 sectors at the Nordschleife, you know, makes sense, but yeah. I don't know, other places not so much.
Yeah, we don't need 6 sector times here, unlike at Road America.
Yeah, for example, Road America, like, it's a bit overkill if you ask me. I prefer, 3 sectors. And you could also see the sectors demarcations on the track map if we didn't have 60 dots running around, but there are Some
Yeah,
little
you
red
see
dots.
2 red dots that separate the sector times on our track map. They're behind all the gray, but they do make their appearances and they don't move around, so... And they aren't the giant red dots of cars that are off track in a wall.
So we have 37 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Dirk Provely. There he is. And as you can see, basically one straight away, no pun intended, there's Aleix Alcaraz looking to bring home an unexpected but I would say fully deserved win if he can hold on. Strator Kilakis. Now the last lap in the end was basically identical between the pair of them, so if he keeps on driving like this, keeps with these times, he can certainly bring home the W, especially because I think now Stratos has to look backwards because Hermer is only 0.8 of a second away, so this could be a super tasty battle either for first or for second, but a tasty battle nonetheless, as we are on lap 26, apologies. So 3 laps to go.
Got 3 laps to go, and an absolute tasty battle brewing up here right now.
Oh!
And we got a car stopped in the middle of the track. Alcaraz has to avoid it. Stratos, oh my goodness! Chaos is happening right here at turn 1. Cars all over the place. Multiple cars involved in there. Let's take a look at this replay. This is JJ. Into half a second, just like this battle we got for 7th between Martin and Wedstead. And, well, you're going to have to be like switching channel. Oh, big slide by Wedstead. And that's going to take him out of that battle. It's clearly that those tires are done. 2 laps remaining here at Catalunya. And I think this battle for second we need to watch between Stratos and Hermer. You can just hear the bouncing off the rev limiter right now. Samuel Hermer gained a lot of time last lap compared to the guys in front of him. It was actually 4/10 faster than Alex Alcaraz was Samuel Hermer. All because of that first corner incident. And, well, that's just allowed Hermer and Stratos to start closing up on Alcaraz. 1.5 seconds separates them, but only 3/10 separates this battle. For second place between Stratos Karloglitsis and Samuel Hermer. The 375 versus the number 1. Hermer's getting a good run in that draft. 2/10 back into Barcelona corner. Yeah, I think it's just Barcelona corner. Or Catalunya corner, since it says Catalunya in there. Or should just give it up to the iRacing community. Just what should we name that corner? Hermer using all the track, almost getting up onto the curb. And Stratos defending out to the inside. Weaving down the front of... Leading down the front straight like a snake, trying to break off that giant. But here comes Hermer. Hermer charging down. Stratos defending out to the inside. Hermer's got that outside line now, side by side, heading into turn 1. Hermer's got the speed. Hermer's got the inside line. Stratos, can he hold it around to the outside? Yes, he can. And here comes Hermer now looking for that switchback. Hermer earthing it up in here. Stratos Karloglitsis defending onto the inside. Samuel Hermer still trying to find that switchback move. Here he goes. Side by side they go, heading to dangerous turn 5. Hard on the brakes. Stratos Karloglitsis going late on the brakes. Samuel Hermer trying to go for that switchback right here. Stratos using all the track to defend from the charging Samuel Hermer. And still defending more and more into the, well, switchback as I like to call this corner, avoiding those yellow curves and heading into this long back straight, heading into that famous Barcelona corner. Stratos Karloglitsis, Samuel Hermer battling it for second. They got a lap car ahead. Stratos defending onto the inside. Samuel getting into the back of him. Stalled out mid-corner. Stratos Karloglitsis causing a little bit of mayhem right there, right behind. Also, we got a battle for 4th between Raul J. Hyman and Garcia. Vitolo, Garcia holding that inside line. Raul J. Hyman's trying to hold it around to the outside. as Alex Alcaraz takes the victory here at his home track, followed by Charles Gilles, Saviel Hermer, Garcia, and Hyman. Garcia sends it into the last corner as well as Hyman. And it's going to be Garcia in 4th.
Wow, what a finish to this race.
What a finish indeed.
Got a couple of battles left. Milne and Thulis coming home. Unfortunately, and I still as we have a crash here, and that was 4th position. Kirkwood is off. I still don't know why a lot of these tracks have the start line and the finish line in a different place, and the finish line is basically just coming out of the final corner, so we get robbed of some fantastic finishes, you know.
Yeah, I blame Tilke for that. I'm not sure why they decided, hey, yeah, the finish line should be at the start of the grid except at the end. The start of the grid except at the end. It's just something that they do. I think it's so that they can wave to their team at the end of the race.
Like, look at this, Coco and Punzengruber would have been a fantastic fight. In the end, it's Coco getting the victory. Getting the best of his opponent there, and I think yes, I think that everyone has gone home more or less safe.
Yeah.
So
very nice race here today, and well, it's tradition that I do the start of the grid, and well, you've been broadcasting these races and you've never done this once, so I'm going to hand it off to you as you read your race results.
Thank you very much, Austin, and let's go with the final unofficial race results from this 5th round of the season here in Barcelona, historic version of this historic racetrack. Alex Alcaraz wins the race, his home race, I think also his home race, being from Catalonia, again with that name, I think he's 100% from Catalonia or you know, the places around there. In front of Stratos Kyriakidis is certainly Mr. Consistent in this championship. 3rd place for Samuel Hermer, 4th was Vitolo Garcia, and 5th, after losing the lead due to a technical issue midway through, Raul J. Hyman. Then we have Florian Denzler, Dave Martin, and Richard Westhead, another driver who was trying to make a comeback. Luca Barani finishes 9th, and Marcus G finishes in 10th. Then we have Clark Williams and Stuart Milne, James Soulis, Christian Brich, Adam Talsma, Ben White, Lucas Marouk, and Richard Boberg in P18. Going downwards, we have Russell Kirkwood and Mark Mathis, runs up the top 20. Sean Barnett, Henry Robert, Rod Maguire, Steve Rubens, Andy Flint, Chuck Maurer, and Zach Bison, the 4 Americans, in front of Johnny Coco in P28. 29th was Clemens Punzengruber in front of Pedro H. Oliveira. Gaston Annebeck is in 31st position in front of Daniel Bon, Nick Carty, and Chris Trott. Koji Ito is in P35 in front of Zoltan Zomotor, Thomas Pruitt, and Peter Brzezinski, who had a very, very eventful race, but finished only a lap down. Ron Korolak, Richard Vane, and Antonio Rusevski in 41st, in front of Christian Glamsetter, Giovanni Sellito, JJ Gonzalez, Alex Hopkins, and Walter Lemmens, Dirk Proveli, and Martin Devine, who finished in 48th position. Patrick Rowlands, 49th. Marshall Berg finishes 5th. Then we have the retirees, which are Marcel himself, unfortunately, Damian Hall, Vincent Casanova, Reed Dennis, Luciano Lorenzo, Valdemar Cardella, Johan Birgenson, Philip Lucas, Josh Arnold, Adrian Corderot, and Igor Maximenko. So, in the end, Austin, a tough race, but not a lot of retirees. And certainly, as per usual with this series, we had an absolute ton of fun. Now, as per tradition, before we close out the proceedings, we'll have a quick interview with series organizer and driver extraordinaire Luca Varani. He's with you, Austin.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear, Luca. 60 cars lined up the field today, and well, you finished in the top 10 of it. How was today's race and well, community?
It was tough, actually. We all had to take care of our tires. They were really, the temperature was not so high, but the rear left was really going, so it was going away. And so we had to be careful, and I actually was a little too careful. I didn't push enough early on, and in the end, it was too late.
There was a lot of training, follow the leader type racing here at Barcelona. Barcelona being full of a lot of medium speed corners. Was the dirty air affecting the racing here a bit?
A little bit, but mainly we all have the same pace. So one day somebody is faster, another race another guy is faster, but we are pretty evenly matched, and it gets tough. For instance, I don't know if you saw it, but a lap car span ahead of me on the last corner, so I had to brake to avoid him. I lost 1.5 seconds, and that was it. That was a gap from Richard at the end. So it's tough racing. It's the quality, the level is pretty high. Let's face it.
You mentioned laps cars. Were you expecting the lap traffic to be this massive here today, or were you expecting a little bit more pack racing?
No, actually, I was fearing and expecting a lot of drama and crashes. The track is really tough, and I keep getting that bad. But managing the tires for 45 minutes, it's not very easy on this track.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with you right there. Well, Luca, you had a good finish here today. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
And as always, thank you for broadcasting. You always do a wonderful job. I always enjoy watching you post race. Thanks a lot to all the viewers. I hope you enjoy it, and I can say that next week or the race after we will have a prize for you, so stay tuned. And of course, a lot of thanks to our sponsor, Northwind Sim Racing. They design their own cockpits, their own high-quality pedals, steering wheels. So if you are if you're looking for some high-quality hardware, please go and have a look. They are generous to us, so it's good if we can pay them back.
All right. Well, thank you, Luca. Thanks for putting on a great series, and congrats on a good top 10. Marco, any closing thoughts?
Well, another fantastic race for the championship, and I want to say a big thanks to everyone who has tuned in. The drivers, of course, they have been absolutely fantastic. And at this point, Austin, I don't think it's even a surprise that the race can be hard, but very, very fair. Of course, 60 plus cars on the track, so stuff might happen, but the number of if you go to the percentage of drivers that are retired compared to the whole of the 60 drivers, it's like absolutely minimal, and I would say also to be expected to have some drama, but I mean, this was absolutely amazing. Cannot wait for more of this championship. We will be back next week then for another round of this fantastic championship. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network, to Apex Racing TV, because the fun never stops on both of these platforms. And we will be back starting from tomorrow with more action at all times of day here on this channel. Back to you, Austin.
Yep, next week we're going to be at Circuit of the Americas for a amazing race, my home track, and I will actually be at a race next weekend, but I'll make sure that I will be able to do the commentary after just attending the Saturday event, not doing the Sunday event there, so I'll have some real-life experience covering F3 cars, and then covering F3 cars again, but on iRacing. But thank you, everybody, for joining us here on iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV for another great round of the iGPFun-F3 series here at Barcelona Historic. I've been joined by Marco Barbadera, who's been doing commentary, graphics, cameras, the whole shebang. Get this guy a raise. I'm off tonight, and I hope y'all have an amazing night.